approach. I want an approach. That's what most of the people would talk. Then you need to prepare for an elicitation session. You need to know certain techniques of how to do elicitation. Then you need to have an ability to manage the requirements and how do you communicate the requirements to various stakeholders. You need to have an ability to conduct enterprise analysis. Enterprise analysis basically you need to conduct as-is analysis of current process. You need to identify the change or to be analysis. You need to identify the gaps. That's the enterprise analysis. The requirement analysis is primarily the drafting of your requirements, including use cases, including the sequence diagrams and flow charts and everything. Solution assessment and validation, I am sure Silpa would know very well. As a BA, you are the first person or you are the first customer for any project or any application or any product that is getting delivered. So as a BA, you are the first person who needs to assess whether your requirements that you have documented have been delivered properly. Only if you certify as business analyst that this is correct, it should go into the next level of testing. Otherwise, it should be stopped and then the person has to fix those issues. Validation is you as a person would know what is the benefit that the business user was expecting out of the solution, and you should look at whether that this solution is capable of delivering that benefit. So that's the two elements that you as a business analyst should look at. So these are all the five or six things that I say are the focus of skills and skill sets that the BA should have. Apart from this, you need to have certain kind of abilities, right? For example, you need to understand at what maturity level the organization and the teams and the product is, so that you know where and what kind of effort you need to put. And that is all influenced by the software engineering models that your team uses, sometimes the project management methods the team uses, sometimes the product life cycle, where the product is. For example, if it is an innovation stage, I don't think you'll have many people who can give you requirements. And if it is in a maturity cycle, I don't think many people are interested to give you requirements. So it's that kind of situation. So those are all the elements that will influence your ability to handle business requirements and ability to communicate with people. There are some subtleties called the business architecture and enterprise IT architecture. Enterprise IT architecture is important because in a landscape that the most of the companies, most of the people probably, I don't know what companies you are working, you might want to give me a little idea of that. But most of the companies, end user companies, at least the companies which are mid-range to large range, have multiple applications. So when you're bringing a new application or when you're making a change in a specific application, there is an impact on the upstream and as well as on the downstream applications which are consuming the data from the, or which the current system that you're working might require data from other systems. So because of that, you need to understand the landscape and what important role the current application plays within the landscape of that IT application. So that is where you need to understand how the enterprise IT architects think and how do they plan their IT applications and how do you as a business analyst can support them. If you see the project management process, project manager is the one who need not have technical knowledge ideally, and he should be only focused on the project management aspect, which is primarily planning, tracking and reporting. He has two different let's say strong pillars in this team. One is the technical architect who needs to ensure that the project is delivered on technology and on technical factors, and the business analyst who is primarily supporting him on customer management and the requirement management or functional management. So this is the three pillar model that typically most of the projects work. So that is what I wanted to make sure that you are also aware when you go into the marketplace or when you get into that role. Any questions on this?
No.
Does it suit you, or do you think some modifications need to be done?
No, I think it's good for now.
Okay. So sometimes I spend more time, especially on the sessions 5 to 11. They will never be 5 to 11 sessions. Although I give you about 15 sessions here, typically I go almost to 20 sessions. So that means you are planning for almost a 4 weeks of these classes. These are fine with you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So the intention, of course, is to make sure that you feel comfortable with the skills, because other thing is primarily a little bit of theory and a little bit of discussion, but the skills cannot be discussions. Skill has to be. I force you to do a little bit of online for me to understand where you are, and I also expect some level of submissions so that I can give you feedback. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to know or learn as to where you are and then what kind of guidance I can give you.
Okay.
So this is the part. The ones that I thought I will skip. So let me see what is this. This is it. So these sessions around this understanding a solution. What is the solution? What is the product and application? Typically, people tend to use everything as same word, right? I'm sure most of us use product, solution, application as a generic word for whatever we are doing. And there is a subtlety in terms of what is the requirement, what is the feature, and what is the function. So those are all the things that I thought I can skip. Let me know if we need to discuss that. Okay.
Can you?
There is. Yeah, 1 minute. Let me show other one. So there are 2 areas that I thought I will skip. Or otherwise, we can take up that during this period. I am also showing what is the relationship between SDLC, project management, application lifecycle, and product lifecycle. So that these are all 2 areas that I thought.
Srini, are you going to share these slides with us after the class?
Yes. I will share not only after the class. All these sessions, I need to know your email IDs. I will probably send the entire bunch, or let's say half of the bunch in the beginning and then half the bunch in the middle.
All right. Okay. Cool.
So the way I will do it, the way I expect to do at least, is that this has been my ideal way. But in most of the cases, let's say 50% of cases work, with 50% cases did not work. What I expect is that you come after looking through these PPTs. So the discussion could be more in depth, and conversation could be more in terms of looking at examples, discussing about your own. Since you are all work experienced, you can bring a lot more value into the team, into the meeting, where you can discuss your current scenario and then we can explain how it works there and everything. So that would enable you to learn more. So I will simply request you to see if you can go through the slides before you come to the class.
Okay. Thank you.
So is this something that you would like me to go through that today, or you would like to skip this session of basics?
I would prefer to go through the session, like at least on a brief basis.
So let me see who's talking about that. Is it okay? Is that Shilpa?
Yeah, that's me, Shilpa.
Okay, let me do that. So probably you can also contribute into this. Maushmi, you are able to hear us? Okay, so let's get to the. I think Maushmi, you are muted, so you may not be able to answer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was actually mute.
Yeah. So in terms of this solution lifecycle, you are comfortable with us going through this session in terms of all these areas?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Shilpa and Maushmi, I think this will be more discussion oriented. Most of you can be unmuted. The key thing here is let's understand how does a solution happen, right? How does people come to a solution? What happens? Why do you require a solution? We need to have a little understanding of what a solution, what product and application means. So why don't you guys, from your experiences, explain me or talk to me about what is a solution, what is a product, and what is an application?
Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Solution, I think when new project comes into the team, they either come to maximize the profit or reduce the cost of application. So to enhance or to improve the product or application, there's supposed to be solution-based product, and that impacts other systems.
Okay. 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 So solution can be anything, right? It is not the IT solution.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Silpa?
Yeah.
So what's your view on solution, product, and application?
Well, I cannot give you like probably in a precise definition of what exactly a solution is. Probably I can tell you in terms of a QA perspective, I guess.
Sure. Go ahead. No problem.
Like let's say, I mean, if any glitches are happening in the application and if it comes around to the QA, we happen to test again in the QA cycle, and then we provide a solution to that based on what the dev team delivers to us.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, let's discuss this part, right? So when does the solution, so business, as you know, is working on its business operations, right? So why do they require solutions? Why do they require business? So like I think Moshmi brought in out, a business operation always want to engage on the factor or the equation called price minus cost is equal to profit, right? They want to always work on this concept, this economic principle called price minus cost is equal to profit. So at the end of the day, the business operations need to execute everything very efficiently, control costs, so that the profits are protected. Now, price is something that is factor of market. If market sees that you are a good producer, your product is much better than everybody else, and your product is something innovative, they pay you more. Otherwise, they don't pay you more. So prices are controlled by marketplace and competition. So much of these significant. So there are companies who operate on price factor. That means they only look at how to innovate new products and deliver new products. They are not worried about cost. There are companies which work only on the cost because they can't compete on the feature or new innovation. They compete on cost. So they want to be efficient as possible, and then produce work. There are companies who handle both. They want to handle the product features as well as cost. So at the end of the day, the game is about looking at your operations to see whether you're innovation focused or whether you are on the cost focused or you are both focused, and then plan your operations. So in a typical model, most of the project or most of the business managers, they keep looking inwardly as well as outwardly and see which of their operations are causing them maximum pain, and they say, okay, if this is my pain, what can solve my problem? So it's always, you are always solving a problem, right? Whether you are using application, product or solution, you are always solving a problem. So for every problem, there has to be a solution. So from an end user mind, it is always a solution, right? End user is always looking at a solution. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a solution is something that resolves a problem. From again, let's go back. Now for the solution, I can generate, or from an IT field point of view or at any point of view, what they do is they want an application that can help solve the solution, bring out the solution to business problem. Now IT field may use simply IT tools, or it might use some other tools like process changes, or it might use some kind of the workforce changes, or some kind of workforce skill changes. It might do many things to bring about that solution to the business. So normally if you see things like ERP or CRM applications, they come into the market, into the company, but they also enforce certain discipline in the company. They enforce skill changes in the company. They enforce behavioral changes in the people. So there is a change management that is associated with large system projects, because they are not only IT tools, but they are also changing the way business conducts the business operation. So that way, it is a solution coupled with an IT application, right? So from who sees them as application? If you look at the overall module of the solution, the business sees, I have a solution which covers skill changes, people changes, workforce changes, behavioral changes, and IT solution. The way the IT team in the business organization sees is, I have an IT application that I need to manage and maintain for the business to gain whatever knowledge or whatever benefits they want to gain. So IT in the business in a business context sees everything as IT application. Then who sees as a product? The marketing folks or the external company that supplies these services and solutions to the companies, the end user companies. They see it as a product, because product is got that is 1:n factor. That means I solve one person's problem, and if I feel that this one person's problem is a problem that everybody faces, I convert that into a generic application. That means I don't customize for individual people. I create as a generic application, and generic application I would brand it and I will call it a product. So is that clear to you?
Yes.
So in a way, you are seeing a paradigm where everybody uses them as solution, application, and product. But you need to understand that when you are working for an application, your focus is customized solution for a problem, and it is you probably will think that it can be used by one single user. Of course, the companies would want it to be as generic as possible, but understand, if you are going to the product domain, trying to think in terms of genericity is by itself a factor of n effort. Reason for that is, you need to ensure that everything is something that everybody will accept. Every screen, every data element, every label will be accepted by multiple companies. You should define and design and then create requirements such a way that it is configurable to multiple user usage. So there is definitely an n factor that is added for everything that you do on product. So the complexity of producing a product is much higher than the complexity of producing an application. The IT budgets of typical end user companies doesn't facilitate you to spend millions of dollars to produce a product, and millions of dollars that the product companies can generate by selling it to multiple people. So therefore, their focus is on to solve a end user problem by developing as simple and as easy to maintain solutions. Is that clear?
Yes.
So I just described one simple scenario, right? The business problem. This is probably a normal problem that you will always see. Is how do I make sure my site is at the top for a specific term used by users? But so when let's say you both are living in East Coast, and then let's say you both are in New Jersey. You want to find a good let us say Indian sweet store, right? So you type in Indian sweet store, and when you search, and there are multiple Indian sweet stores within the New York area that you guys are living. So the Indian sweet store, if he has got a website, he needs to make sure that when somebody types in Indian sweet store from a particular region, he should be at the top of the list of the search, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this is Google search, so he should be at the top of the Google search. So Indian sweet store, right? So you understand how Google works, right? So Google, the way it works is, as a business can buy for a particular region certain words, right? So which is called AdWords. Google has a tool called AdWords. So advertisement words. So you can go and buy this word. When you go and buy that word from Google, Google says, whenever somebody in this region searches for this word called Indian sweet, I will take your site at the top. I will show them in the first page, first line, I will show your switch store. So that's what you are paying Google for that. Now, most of the people's problem was, I wanted my site to be at the top when the end user wants to purchase something. The solution is AdWords. If you look at the practices now, it has affected everybody in the world that everybody has to optimize their website development to ensure that Google can search their website properly. Is that clear?
Yes.
So that is how typically life is. Now, from that solution, it now moves to a newer territory. Now we are talking about image-based search, map-based search, right? So you are moving towards the pinpoint accuracy of which street where your store is. So that is where it is improving. The next stage of improvement is it will improve towards when you are traveling and you are close by that site and you want to really know. Google already knows that you have been searching such kind of things like Indian store and other things. It might come onto your mobile saying that, hey, you are nearby your Indian store, switch store, do you want to purchase? So that means it can in future go to a stage where based on your searches, it knows you, and whenever you are going to certain direction, it might point at you saying that you've been searching for Indian switch store for so long, you have something nearby you on your road maps, on your GPS or on your mobile phone, and then alert you to go and purchase them. So that's the power of what they are doing. Right, so that means it can keep on evolving and then come very close to a user's ability to search and then find solutions at a normal and end user level. So the solution lifecycle is something that keeps on engaging with the user problems till they no longer have a problem. They have the problem of being followed by Google, right? Now everybody is talking about Google follows me everywhere. That's their main concern, not the original problem. Original problem was search problem. Now it's come to a stage where people are talking about privacy, right? So little bit more. This is primarily, again from a point of view of how you see everyday actions as solution, application, and product. You have anything in your mind which would support this kind of a argument where a solution is more of a problem solution? It can be either application or a product. A product is, in fact, that means it needs to be produced for multiple customers. An application is a single person or maybe within the company's solution. Is that acceptable to you?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So this process of how the application life cycle happens, was that evident in the example that I gave you? Yeah. It starts with a new application, then it goes into improved solutions, and it goes to become very mature solution. So no longer people think that it is a part of an application; it is becoming essential, right? Now, if you go to shopping malls, escalators and lifts are essential. Nobody thinks that it is a part of a solution. Is that fair enough? Yes. Nobody thinks today mobile is a solution. Everybody thinks that it's an essential part. So mobile, as you know, was developed as a remote communication tool in, let's say, Scandinavian countries where there was a lot of snow, right? And then they had to have a wireless mechanism of communication, and it started there. It was a problem solution. Then later on, it knew that it can solve people's problem in terms of communicating from wherever they are, and it became a product. So today, mobile tools are primarily something that everybody possesses, and then maybe everybody possesses more than one mobile tool. So in terms of application lifecycle, application starts. Yes, Silpa, you wanted to say something?
No, nothing, Srini. Go ahead.
So in terms of application lifecycle, applications start as a single point solution, but evolve over a period of time from being a single point solution to many problem solution or many point solution, and then they evolve into essentials. That is how the life cycle goes. The moment it becomes essential, they become, you need to also understand the economics behind this, right? When you are solving the solution for the first time, nobody knows, so you are spending as much as possible. If you are taking it to n factor, any n factor solution, the cost of maintaining the application is higher, but at the same time, more people tend to purchase because more people's problem you are solving. So you start getting more and more customers. When you reach certain stage, you almost have significant amount of customers, and there is no longer anybody is purchasing. That means no longer people want you to improve the product. People want you to support. It's like electricity grid. People want you to just let them use it. That means all applications start with my private application to many people's applications to a grid. Grid means we just need support. We don't need innovation. In which case they need to pay only rentals. They don't want to pay and own it. So that's how the evolution of any product will happen. So as you see today, there is a concept called cloud computing. There is a concept called web application. There is a concept of web. There are many concepts are coming, but you see that there is an everlasting and almost daily travel towards becoming utility. IT is becoming utility. IT will survive as electricity boards are surviving, as let's say the water board survives in future. Except for some kind of innovation applications, most of the IT will become essentially a rental based organization. Correct? You agree?
Yeah.
So when we will reach that stage, I don't know, because electricity took almost 100 years to reach that stage. If you ask me, IT industry is too young at this point in time. So what is a solution, right? Solution is primarily I'm talking about not a solution as an overall solution. I'm talking about an IT solution. So an IT solution is delivered as a composite set of user and system reactions, right? Or systems actions or reactions. It's always user says something, system resolves or responds to something. So understand the IT solutions in terms of a request response paradigm, right? It's always the user is interacting with the system. User is talking to the system. System is talking back to the user. If you understand this, it's a conversation between two different people. One person asking someone to do something, and other person is delivering the service to the person who requested. Can you imagine IT application like that?
Yes.
Right. So that is why this use case, because I as a person, as a user, I have a case to deal with you. I am dealing with the system, and then I am using a specific function at a point in time to discuss with this IT system, and IT system is delivering my results. So therefore, the foundation of requirements, after it started as a simple draft, then it became huge document, then it became the graphical. Today, everybody has come to a stage where it is much more evolved, but there is a lot more evolution in the business analysis and then the documentation part itself. But it's come to a stage where everybody agrees that use case probably are the better ways to describe a requirement. So it would be considered as either user story or a use case. And they want to keep it simple and in a graphical manner so that people can understand it easily. You guys agree?
Yes.
So if we agree that each action that the user does or system delivers is a function, right? A user action is nothing but a function of the system, right? So now when you go to a company, I want to ask you a simple question. And Shilpa might be able to answer this question. Who is the owner of the application? Who is the user of the application? Who is the customer for you?
Who is the owner of the application?
who is the customer of the application and who is the user of the application?
Client, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is the client? Because in the client area, you will see the customer, you will also see the owner, you will also see the user. How do you distinguish who are these people?
Is it owner meaning the product owner, right?
No, you define. I have no answer to this at this point in time. I will only listen to you. Then we'll qualify it.
Like let's say I'm working for Google.
Yes.
So before it goes to production, that will be like a user accepting testing, right?
Right.
So
right.
that point, UAT people will be the users.
But UAT people, who are they? Who are they? Are they business users? Are they users who are testing the application on behalf of users?
On behalf of users, that's correct.
Right. So this ability to distinguish who are the users, because user acceptance testing, they are still people who are representing the users but not necessarily the users, right?
Right.
So in a way they are also, see, if you are doing system testing, you are testing it from how to break it down. The user acceptance testing is also testing with a view that they want to break it down, right?
Right.
Right. So I think the intention is to either check the functionality or intention is to either break it down. So
Correct.
I don't see a bigger difference other than that it is being tested twice.
Right.
The real user is in the end market, and I don't think anybody can replicate his real experience. It's only an attempt to do that, or let's say eliminate as many as 80% of the problems, which are standard and regular. So we as a business analyst have to have a comprehensive understanding of what is the user, who is the user, who is the customer, who is the process owner. We should have a clear understanding, right? So let's have a quick understanding of that part. Now for me, customer is the owner of the business process. He's the guy who says, hey, these guys, if you are working at the if you are working in a IT department, or you are working as a IT consultant from another company, you know that people in the organization know someone will take decision, and this someone who takes the decision is your customer. Is that clear?
Okay.
So it's always customer as a company, right? Customer is a company, I know that, but please understand, company is nothing but some person in the company, correct? And this some person in the company is the decision maker in the company. So your customer is the one who pays you the check. He might be a finance guy, or he might be finance guy come the business owner, but he is the guy. Okay, please understand, at the end of the day, he is expected to perform and execute certain part of the business strategy. So your solution is a part of a cog in his overall responsibility. It might be implemented by people reporting into him, or probably people reporting to reportees of him. But at the end of the day, he is responsible, and he is the one whose feedback is important to you as a supplier or as a service provider.
Okay,
so
can you come again, Srini? Actually, I'm a little lost in this concept.
Okay, the customer is the highest person in the organization who oversees that function.
Okay.
Because he is the one who has communicated to the market, he is the one who communicated to the management that he will deliver better efficient processes under his regime, right? Please understand, in the organization there will be different people handling different operations, right? Who are reporting to CEO.
Okay.
These people have certain people who report to them.
Okay.
They will have certain responsibilities that have been endowed or bestowed on them to deliver. Now, at the end of the day, if they have chosen an application which is very significant application that affects his operations, the highest man in that hierarchy has the responsibility to make sure this works. In that case, he is your customer.
Okay.
Right? Is that clear?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Who are the actors? Remember, you as a person is an actor today. In this class, you are the student, you are acting as a student. In your organization, when you go back, you either act as a business systems analyst or you act as a QA analyst, right? At home, you are acting as, let's say, daughters, mothers, wives, whatever it is, right? So there is different roles that you play being yourself. So similarly, in the organization, the same person can play different actors or different roles. Because they play different roles, it is called actors in our language. Understand?
Yeah.
Right? So don't associate actor as equivalent to a person or a organization role. Actor in the IT system point of view is by itself a separate role. You associate the role of actor to a business role that the person plays, but they are different and distinct. That's point that you should remember. So this you should know very well, Silpa. When you're testing, you're not testing for a specific person in your organization or for a specific person in the organization who performs that particular application, right? Who uses that application.
Right.
You use that from a user or role concept. If I am a manager, what should I see? Am I seeing that or not? If I am a QA manager, what is the data I should see? If I am a general manager, what is the data I should see? You are testing based on that.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Yeah. So that is what I am calling as actors.
Okay.
Okay. So some people might call it general manager, some people might call it VP, some people might call it something else. So you are not worried about that. From an application point of view, you have named them that way. That's it. So that's why it's actors. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So to eliminate the confusion between what you are calling as actors and what the user is calling as actors, you always bind them together. When you bring to the user, you will say, okay, in your context, a general manager of my role is equivalent to vice president of your role. You might equate that so that everybody, and after that you start speaking the user language. Because users will understand only if you speak in their language. Is that clear?
Yeah.
What is the process, transformation process? Whatever application solution that you are bringing in, it is impacting the business processes, right? It is always impacting the business process. The process under consideration is impacted by the system under consideration. When I say that, what I'm saying is, if you are doing a sales process, let's say you want to manage, people were doing always the brick and sell model, right? They were always having shops and then they were retailing from the shops. Now there are new IT applications or sites which are doing grocery sales through websites, correct? Have you heard about grocery sales through websites?
Yeah.
So there are applications or many websites that are doing that. So when you do grocery sale by website and when you do grocery sale by the store, there is a big process change. What is the process change? When you get the material from warehouses, you need to stock them into the retail store. You need to then merchandise and arrange them in the store. You need to let people come and then pick them, allow them to pay at your payment counters, and then let it go. So that's the process, right? In a store. In the website, everything is virtualized. So that means you don't have to keep changing the merchandise on the store, right? You don't have to reformat the store. You just have to create new promotions in the website. So they come, they search the same way every time. They select the product every time the same way, and then they check out. The process here is, till the user does anything in the system, I have nothing to do. The moment user executes their order on the website, I then communicate to my warehouse to ship those material to me, and then I ship that material to you. So there is a change. In one case, I am pushing the material from warehouse based on the consumption at the store. In another case, I am pushing the warehouse material based on the request that I receive from the website. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So the process, although is the same retailing process, the store process is different and web front end process is different. So that is the difference. Is you need to always identify what process you are handling. Are you handling the store sales process? the web front end process, or let us say in Amway kind of situation, it is the agent based process, right? Agent requests the material and then it gets supplied to the agent. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So always remember the process you are working on and what kind of issue the process has. The next one is, what is the world view? What are the wider impacts of the issue? Especially in biotechnology, it might be a major issue, primarily because if you are producing something, it has got a human moral impact. If you are using humans as guinea pigs, it has got an impact. If you are using, so there is certain factors beyond the control of the process itself, like you need to follow certain environmental regulations, you need to follow certain governmental regulations, you need to follow certain standards, you need to follow certain human elements, right? So you can't produce a system which is hugely painful to people who use, and because there is no other way you enforce it on people, it will have human cost at a later stage and then they might sue you later. So you need to be very, very careful in terms of whatever you're producing is by standards that are there to govern that products and govern by that systems. So that is the worldview, right? So as a business analyst, you are expected to ensure that you have common ground or you have good understanding of some of these issues, so that when you design or when you write your requirements, you are writing also the sense of compliance that application or that product should follow. Is that clear?
Yes.
So in this way, the worldview is nothing but the governments and regulatory authorities might have an impact on your application. So when you want to go to the customers, it's a simple technique to understand who is your customer, who are the various actors, what is the process under consideration, what is the kind of regulations that might impact your process. Then finally you are looking at, when you deliver the solution, who is the person who will come back to me and saying, I am getting my benefits. Usually the customer, the person highest authority, identifies one person as responsible from his side who needs to take decision. So he is the owner. He is the one who will tell whether your solution solved the problem or not solved the problem, and he is a single point contact for you. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And finally, environmental constraints. You need to understand how the end user organization works. If the end user organization works from 6 o'clock to 1 p.m., right, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., do you have a choice of working from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.?
Yes.
Can you work when the end user is not going to be available to you? How will you work?
That's how contracting works, right? Even though the end user is not working.
No. I'm saying your timings, can it be different from end user's timings?
No.
Think about it. So, for example, you want to collect requirements from them.
Okay.
If they work from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., can you work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Or should you try to align your timings to them?
Yeah, we'll go by their timings.
Isn't it? That's the constraint that is imposed by the end user. So, similarly, there are certain kinds of cultural as well as organization constraints. For example, they won't let you bring your own laptop, and they won't give you tools that you have in your laptop. What will you do? You have to adapt their tool. They might have a different tool than what you have already developed. So what will you do? So those are the constraints that might be imposed on you, and there is no choice but you have to work around that. Correct? So those are all the environmental constraints that you might do. For example, they may not let you send emails, or they might not let you access certain websites, right? So these are all the constraints that you should know. So in a way, what I'm saying is, when you go for the first meeting, it's important that you know these 5 or 6 elements from the user. Transformation process is nothing but scope, right? Can you tell me what is the scope of this project? who are the customers, who is the person who is owning this application, who are the people who will use this, what are the regulations that you think are subject to this particular, what are the standards that are subject to this processes, who is the person in the organization who will communicate with me, and what are the timings, what are the kind of systems that I should bring and then I should use. All those things you should ask, isn't it?
Yeah.
So from a first lesson point of view, this is the first lesson that you have to have in your mind when you go for, and around this is your approach. You need to devise an approach when you go to the customer around these 6 concepts. Is that clear? We'll go through the depth of these things, each of these things as we go into the other discussion. But this is to give you a glimpse of what is happening. Okay.
Okay.
So I will leave this. I will send you this. I will leave it to you to go through this part. And I don't really want to go through this part, which is basically how the requirements are documented. It's either textual, it's either graphics, it's either matrix, diagrams, it's models. So I will leave it to you. We will go through each of these things separately, but I'll leave it to you to go through this. Okay. I'm sure you know what is spec, what is requirement and all, right? So let's go through this session 2, where I just wanted to focus on this concept. So if you see, SDLC is software development lifecycle, right? So it focuses on what I call as requirement, design, development, testing, and a portion of implementation, right? So that is software development lifecycle. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Maushimi, are you comfortable at that point?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is project management, right, or product management? The project management focuses on the project initiation to the user release, right, user support. So project management methodology focuses on this. It includes the project initiation, scoping to the user support. What does ALC require? ALC is nothing but application lifecycle. It also looks at further releases, the future releases. It encompasses SDLC, it encompasses project management methodology, and it calls itself ALC, application lifecycle. In application lifecycle, there could be several projects, there could be several SDLC cycles. Correct?
Yes.
And finally, a PLC. What is PLC? A product lifecycle. The product lifecycle is about how your product has evolved. So that means there will be many business initiatives and many projects that you create, which will go through. For example, if let us say SAP is there, SAP has got accounting function, SAP has got logistics function, SAP has got a customer management function. You are aware of SAP, right?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maushimi?
No, not really. Like.
Okay. So SAP is a business application function, ERP. It is called the Enterprise Resource Planning software. Have you heard about CRM? Salesforce.com?
No. No.
No. So these are huge applications. Let's take Google itself, right? So if you look at Google, Google came up with what they called as email first, right? Google came with search first, then they increased that to email, then they increased that to calendar, then they increased that to image based search, Google Earth search. So each of these things are products by themselves. Let's go through search itself. Initially the search was meant for only text based searching. Today the search evolved into video search, image search, book search. So many search features are there now. I don't know whether you are aware of that, but there are many search features that are available within the. So there is image search, there is a mail search. So many types of searches are available today. How did they evolve? They evolved over a period of time. Now, if you see text-based search, the text-based search itself has evolved. For example, it has got suggestions now. Now, if I click, it is suggesting based on what I have done in the past, what are the things that people are searching. They are looking at trends. Based on that, it is suggesting these things, right? So this ability that it is going through so many things is important. So as a product life cycle, I have to focus on my original functionality, which is text-based searching. I have to focus on new functionality that I introduced 8 years back called image-based searching. I introduced calendar-based searching. So if you see, Google has got more and more functionality that they are added. I have mobile searching, I have Google Chrome, I have Maps for mobile, I have book search, I have image search, I have photo search. So I have geo search. I have ability to search your internal drives at your home or office. So this is nothing but your Google appliances. I have now today, if you look at, people are talking about blog searches and social networking searches, right? People are slowly evolving the search on social networks. So you are seeing that the product is also evolving as you go. The search product, which was originally only text search, has evolved into so many types of searches now. So the ability to handle such kind of, to start with text search, then image search, then video search, then song search, book search, all these things are nothing but you are adding more and more features to your product. So this ability to add more features and keep the original features intact or drop them depending upon the demand on them is nothing but product lifecycle. You agree? Understand, Motion?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about, and when your organization talks about these things, you should know what they are talking. So SDLC means it should be very clear in your mind. PMM means very important that you know what it is. These two things, ALC and PLC, is never spoken about in the internal of organization. These things are spoken in the marketing paradigm. But SDLC and PMM are the ones that you will encounter every day in your work project. So you should be very comfortable about these things. Okay?
Yeah.
So who are the people that BA interacts? Go through this list and tell me if I missed or if you have something else in the mind.
Subject matter experts.
Who would be subject matter experts?
Somebody who knows the application in and out. Somebody who's been working in the company for a long time. Perhaps.
So domain guys, right?
Sorry?
Yeah. So they are part. Okay. Anyway, I have put them as part of users, but I think it's a fair point. We need to bring them as subject matter experts in the user context.
Yeah.
So they are actually users of the system. What you are talking about is they may not use, but they can contribute in terms of providing me the inputs, right? That's what you are saying, Moshmi?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fair point, fair point. So we should add that part as this particular list that they will interact. Any other people that I missed out? Shilpa, I have included the people from your profiles to QA and process teams. DA has to talk to them.
Yeah. I can't figure out anybody who is beyond this list for now.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, this is evolved over a period of time. So I collected all these things. So Maushmi's point is fair enough, because a lot of times users need not constitute subject matter experts. Subject matter experts are probably external stakeholders who can come and then help, or it could be internal stakeholders who can come and help to devise the system. So I can call them as domain consultants or subject matter experts, which makes sense. Yeah. So what I'll do is I will send you this documents today. So can you guys give me what is your mail ID?
Mashmi21@gmail.com.
One minute. So let me first send you a mail, so then I'll be confused. Now, you're able to see, right?
Yeah.
MAU.
Okay.
SH.
MI.
Yeah. At the rate.
21.
Oh, 21 has to be there.
At
21 at the Gmail. Okay. And what about you, Shilpa?
Yeah, mine is SILPA
PA
dot Chilakapati
Chilla
CHILAKAPATI. You missed an A.
CHI
LA
LA Chilla Ka
Party.
PATI. You are from Andhra.
Yeah.
Gmail. So Maushmi, which part of India do you belong to, or do you belong to?
Orissa.
Orissa. Okay. So Orissa, which district?
City, you mean?
Yeah, which city?
Rourkela.
Rourkela. Okay. And Shilpa, where are you from?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Okay. Which part of Hyderabad?
We are Secretariat Colony.
Where is this?
Yeah, no, it's close to Maidipatnam.
Maidipatnam. Okay.
And where are you from?
So I live in Bangalore. I was born in Hyderabad.
Oh, okay.
So what I'll do is I will send you this assortment of stuff today itself. Work properly. So I'll send you this, and I'll also probably send you next 4 or 5 sessions shortly.
Okay.
So don't go by the examples that are there. Don't go by the assignments that are there. So we will probably discover new assignments as we discuss with you. If you want to do those assignments, you can continue, but primarily we will discuss the assignments with you separately. All the sessions I'll send you. So any questions on the program, or if you have any advice on the program as to what you want to include or what you want to exclude, you can certainly come back, and we will place more emphasis on the areas that you feel you need more exposure. Okay? Because I'm also practitioner. Yes.
Sorry, like what is the difference between like a BA and a BSA?
So if you ask me, a BA is someone, there are 2 definitions to BA itself. So a business analyst, someone analyzes the overall performance of business.
Alright.
Okay. And a business analyst is someone who provides solutions for the problems that the business faces. These are all 2 definitions of BA, right? The IT definition, there are 2 standard bodies that are there. They give you business, there are 3 definitions there. So there is an International Institute of Business Analysts. They give you a definition saying that a business analyst is someone who interacts and who takes primary ownership of solutions, and he interacts between business and the development teams. So he's like a liaison person. That's what they defined that. A business systems analyst, to my understanding, is that it's primarily a role of have you heard about requirement analyst?
Yes.
Okay. So requirement analyst is scoped to understand the specific project. Similarly, a business systems analyst is scoped to do a specific business system. They are focused on a specific business system. Let's say it could be a customer relationship management, or it could be a specific tool, and then they need to make sure that the tool is operated efficiently and the people use the tool, or people whatever development needs of the tool or that application is handled by them. So the focus, it's always the focus. The focus could be a specific business process, or focus could be a specific business function. Typically these roles, I don't know what Moushami works on, but these roles are used in a BPO kind of organization or process management kind of organizations, where they have specific functions or specific applications that focus on specific functions.
Okay.
Yeah, actually what I worked on was earlier as a BSA. We had also BA. The role of the BA was just to gather requirements from the business owners, stakeholders, clients, and other people. And based on the requirement document, what I did was provide solutions. I was talking to developers. I wrote a tech spec for developers with their help itself.
Yeah, I understand. Who were you, Moushami, who were you reporting to? You were reporting to business analyst, or you were reporting to project manager?
Project manager.
Okay. So if you see that organization, what was happening is the business analyst seems to be a domain consultant who would talk to customers. They produce a requirement document that suits the business users. That needs to be then translated by the business analyst or business systems analyst. So they are saying the same business analyst has been split into two parts. The one who focuses on customer, the other one focuses with the technical team. That's how they split the process. Maybe it's very complex system, so the business analysts need to be completely engaged with the users, while the business systems analyst is equivalently proficient of the business process, but they are focused on the system side of it. That means the technical team side of it.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Srini.
So this material I am sending you, there are about up to 6 sessions. Let me know if you don't receive it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, done. So sent you. What we'll do is this would be my let's say official actor role ID. That is my business analyst role ID that you will receive. So you can work based on that. Okay. Any questions? So what I'll do is I will stop at this point in time. So typically I take class between 70 minutes to 90 minutes. Oddly, when it goes into skills area, it might jump to, and that I will prefer to do it during the later part of weeks. So let's. Is it okay, right? If you go between 70 to let's say almost 100 minutes per day?
Yeah.
Okay. So these basics are primarily to nudge you on to understanding the common, have a common ground on our discussions in future. So tomorrow onwards we'll start. Our focus will be in the area of. So if you feel that don't worry about the dates and other things. This is a PDF I've generated. I keep changing my PPTs a little bit as the program goes. If you see if you see the program focuses on so I call this as outside of BA. That means these are all the concepts that the business analyst should know. So we will definitely focus on this because I see value in at least some aspects of this for you to plan and approach a problem in a different way. And the practice of BA, which basically I will not focus on business architecture because you both are working professionals. I'll focus on more on object-oriented models and enterprise IT architectures. I'll focus on these two. And in this also, I will focus on these elements more. These two and these two. I'll focus on these 4 concepts more time than anything else. these things, what I have decided is I will not have separate sessions. I will include as a part of assignments during this coding period. So it becomes inclusive learning rather than separate projects, and then which I found that some of the people are really busy. So if I separately create a project like in a program of university, it never gets done. So I include that as part of learning here itself. That's what I do. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much for the class.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.